Hey guys, my name is Loveless, and this time we are doing one I haven't done in a while, which is Mollitudo. So, I have no excuses for why it took me so long to get back to it. Well, let's get straight into it. I like Kachan? Seriously? Izuku's face was buried in his arms as he listened to the sound of everyone packing their bags around him. I mean, I do tend to put Kachan on a pedestal. I admire him after all. He felt himself smile softly as he felt the familiar admiration for Kachan well up within him. And I guess he's kind of good looking when he doesn't smile like he wants to murder someone. Also, he has a really nice voice, and his eyes are the most striking feature on his face. Deku. It doesn't necessarily mean I like Kachan, right? His eyebrows furrowed. He shifted his forehead when it started to hurt. I guess you could say the admiration is maybe more than the regular amount. I mean, I can never think of All Might the same way. Oi, Deku! I guess I wouldn't mind spending my life together with Kachan. Also, don't think I can imagine a world without him. Deku! A thump on the table. Izuku jumped, his head snapping up and almost hit Kachan's face. You almost took my head off! Kachan snapped. His eyes narrowed on Izuku. Why were you trying to cover up your creep levels by muttering like with your face stuck to the table? Are you feeling sick? Kachan! Izuku squeaked out, face feeling flushed against his own will. He distinctly noticed the feeling of his heart fluttering at comforting figure of Kachan. Oh my god, I do like him. Oh my god! Kachan's eyebrows, when Izuku just noticed, was perfectly shaped, arched. He distinctly noticed the concern looked deepening. He distinctly noted the concern look deepening on his face. The fuck's wrong with you? Panicking, Izuku threw his book onto his back, somehow still taking care not to bend the notebook Kachan gave him. Nothing. His voice was still high pitched, and forgetting he still had a knee cast, standing up, throwing his back over his shoulder. Predictably, he fell over, straight into Kachan's arms. The fuck? Kachan grunted, arms tightening around him as Kachan supported him. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my. Izuku felt like he could combust. He needed to process. Code red! Kachan, I'm fine, thank you very much, he said in a rush, hands blindly reaching out for his crutches. He spotted his savior giving him the strangest look. Todoroki, didn't you say that you wanted to go to, study? Todoroki pointed to himself and tilted his head in question. Upon Izuku's pleading glance, he stood up, walking over to him. Yes, let's go. Kachan released Izuku, but not before placing a hand in front of him, stopping Izuku in his tracks. Nerd, wait, explain first. You're acting weird. His voice was soft, and it made Izuku want to hug him. Kachan, I'm fine. I was just startled. Izuku managed to sound relatively normal, shooting Kachan a wobbly smile as he inched away from the other. I'll talk to you later. Kachan didn't look convinced. He threw Todoroki a look, which the other returned with a shrug. Izuku hobbled to Todoroki, who offered a hand for his backpack. Don't worry, Bakugo, he's just... Todoroki paused as he stopped to think. Oh god, Todoroki, please don't make this weird. He's just very overwhelmed by school. We're just trying to catch up with his work. Thank you. Okay, whatever. Apparently satisfied, Kachan stalked out of the classroom first, leaving Izuku and Todoroki, who gave him a flat look. Really, Midoriya? Todoroki, I hate you so much. It's all your fault. Izuku groaned, hiding his hands in his face. I can't stop thinking about Kachan now. Oh my god, I like him. Why did you guys even bring this up? Silence. He looked up, seeing Todoroki staring at him instead of replying. He blinked at Todoroki's fond look. What? Nothing. It's just nice to see you feeling better. Todoroki gave a small smile. We missed you, really. Yeah. He smiled nervously. I guess talking and getting it over with helped. When they left the classroom, Aizawa was waiting for them. Sensei, Izuku greeted, surprised. Is something wrong? Midoriya, a minute of your time. Aizawa toned flat, giving nothing away. Izuku shifted. Sure, he replied unsurely, sharing a glance with Todoroki. It's nothing serious. Don't worry about it. With that, Izuku felt reassured. He nodded back, hand reaching out for the backpack Todoroki was carrying. I'll take it back for you, Todoroki answered, moving the bag out of Izuku's reach. At Izuku's protest, he said, It's fine, it's light. I'll meet you back at the dorms. Come on. Aizawa nodded his head towards the direction of the teacher's room. Izuku followed him, feeling wary at being summoned by a teacher. Was it because he needed to clarify something? He didn't want to relieve any more of anything. Izuku gulped. Take a seat. Izuku settled into the chair. Aizawa sat down opposite. At Izuku's wary look, he softened his gaze. Midoriya, I just wanted to address something that concerned me yesterday. His throat tightened. What is it? It's about the way you reacted. Aizawa's voice was hesitative, gentle. I want you to come to me if there's anything wrong. The way I reacted? Izuku echoed. Do you know what the symptoms of post-traumatic stress are? Aizawa asked softly. He shifted in his seat, lacing his fingers. He leaned forward on his elbows. I want to check in on you. If you experience any of those, I want you to come to me. Izuku thought for a moment. He remembered Todoroki's words and how he was glad that Izuku was feeling better. He did feel like he was better. He felt refreshed, like the burden was lifted off his chest. He didn't think he would want to talk about what happened in the room ever again. He was doing just fine, wasn't he? I think I'm okay. Izuku spoke up. It was just that one time. Okay, I'm glad you're okay then. As I said, his hands unclasped and leaning back, relieved. You're gonna see Recovery Girl, right? You're gonna see Recovery Girl, right? Yeah, Izuku replied. I promise, if anything's wrong, I'll tell you. Aizawa smiled at that. That's good to hear, kid. Izuku looked intensely at his notebook spread out in front of him. Picked up his pen. Do I like Kacchan? The pen made a loud clack as he threw it down, covering his face and groaning into it. Even writing down the word like and Kacchan in the same sentence got him flustered. What the heck? He thought, looking at the cursed sentence scribbled in his notebook. He continued writing. I trust him. He's cool. I admire him. His determinations, his intelligence, how Kacchan never gives up trying to win. I want to be by his side. When did it even change from admiration to like? Izuku bit on his pen when... I always liked him. Kacchan has always been the constant in my life. There is no one I can imagine by my side. What? Izuku laughed out nervously. He felt like a schoolgirl writing about his life in a crush in a diary. I'm so cheesy. Jeez. The list was short, but that was because Izuku just liked everything about Kacchan. The question is, his pencil wrote out another line. Do I have a chance with Kacchan? Does Kacchan like me? He circled the last sentence multiple times. Been nice since I came back. Doesn't seem to hate my very presence anymore. He placed the pen down slowly. Who am I kidding? Izuku closed the notebook. The list was even shorter than his own. Even if he wanted to expand it, most it would include was the attitude Kacchan seemed to have adopted towards him recently, not the Kacchan before he was taken. The one before was like what Kacchan expected Kacchan to act. Kacchan, who joined him civilly in one-for-all discussion with All Might. The one who helped him train. The one still snapped at him, but in a more mellow way, as if it was more an instinct than active anger. Kacchan, who started patching up and rebuilding his own impression towards Izuku. The new Kacchan, however, him, who apparently sat by his side every day, who's the one who helped Izuku when he needed it, being by his side when Izuku called out to him, The person who, there was a bad taste in his mouth, who tried to exchange himself for Izuku's sake. Thinking about that made him sick. Why though? Why did Kachan do that? As if his mind already made the answer, the memory of Kachan's apologetic face surfaced. Shaking off the intrusive thought, Izuku opened up the notebook again and stared at the pitiful short list. It was over anyway. Nothing happened. As if Kachan would like me that way. Izuku's voice sounded self-deprecating, even to his own ears. Ah, what am I even doing? He scratched his hair, leaning back in his chair, angling his head, staring at the ceiling instead. It's fine. He liked Kachan. That was the apparent fact now. He can handle it, even if Kachan never liked him back. Besides, better to focus this than on other things. Even though the times before the room felt almost like a distinct past, Izuku did manage to settle back into school life seamlessly. It was easy when he had all the work he needed to do to catch up on. Izuku didn't know if his friends were doing it as a distraction, but they kept teasing him about his crush on Kachan. Uraraka must be secretly evil this whole time, Izuku had thought, for she enjoyed the red face and panicked screams way too much, like he was one of the many TV shows she watched. For a while, Izuku felt like everything was alright. He didn't hear any updates from his teachers, but he didn't need to know. Really. He didn't care. Izuku was content enough to let the days pass by like this, enduring the teasing from his friends and waiting eagerly for the day Recovery Girl could remove his knee cast. He felt like he could cry out of happiness when the day finally came. Izuku fidgeted awkwardly, his hand playing with the scratchy bedsheet beneath him idly. Midoriya, did you hear what I said? Recovery Girl asked again. You want to remove my cast, right? Yes, I already gave you 2 healing sessions ever since the time you came to visit me, she said, looking at her clipboard. And I'm sure you've been wanting to walk around on that leg of yours. He nodded impatiently. 3 days of clumsy fumbling with crutches were more than enough. So I'll be cleared to walk on my knee after you remove it? Does this mean that I can train after this? Because I'm eagerly to get back to hero training. Recovery Girl amused at his impatience. Yes, as long as you don't strain it. She turned around to retrieve the saw. The tentative pace that Izuku had reached with himself was thrown away, when for a split second he saw Vex. Midoriya? Izuku opened his eyes. Wait, when did I close? Why did he picture Vex? He should have gotten over everything already. He already relived everything, recounting his story to the police. Vex is in jail. Everything was supposed to be okay. He met Recovery Girl's concerned eyes, stubbornly shoving his thoughts away. Sorry, did I say something? No, but you're looking a bit tense there, boy, she said gently. Need a break? He shook his head. She shifted the saw, and Izuku ignored how his clammy hands were. The hands that had been idly playing with the sheets were now clutching them tightly. Okay, I'm going to cut the cast off. Everything's going to be okay. Despite how Izuku kept telling himself that it was just Recovery Girl, his knee shook when the saw approached it. He couldn't help but think of the hammer, how Vex gently tapped it against him before the pain. He couldn't help the sharp intake of breath when the saw started moving. Midoriya? Recovery Girl suddenly said, and Izuku snapped his gaze onto her gray bun. He wanted to look at anything but the tool on his knee. Tell me about your studies. Have you been able to catch up? Yes. Izuku's voice was shaky, but he was so grateful. He counted the number of squares formed by netting keeping her bun together. 1, 2... Everything has been really nice. I only missed a week of lessons, so it wasn't that hard. That's good. And we're done here. Izuku blinked down at his bare knee. That was fast. Recovery Girl smiled, crinkling her eyes. I'm not a pro for nothing, boy. Try walking. He hesitantly hopped off. He almost expected the familiar soreness of his knee, but was ecstatic to stand solidly. He hopped up a few times on the he hopped up a few times on the spot, smiling wide and when no pain radiated from his knee. Thank you so much. I didn't say jump on it immediately, Recovery Girl scolded. Izuku froze, wincing sheepishly. He shifted his necktie, loosening it around his neck. His chest felt tight. He met Recovery Girl's raised eyebrows. Midoriya, you haven't removed your chest bandages? Didn't I tell you to do that last night? Izuku looked down, the white bandage peeking over through his loose necktie. Oh, he had completely forgot about them. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. Recovery Girl clicked her tongue. Come on, I'll remove it for you. Izuku's smile turned icy. I can do that in my room. At Recovery Girl's glancing gaze, she explained, I'm still a bit uncomfortable. Can I take them off in private? Uncomfortable was honestly a mild way of putting it. Just thinking about seeing the scars made him sick. Okay. Recovery Girl didn't look convinced. Thank you so much again. He bowed rapidly as he backed off towards the door. I'm just gonna get around to it, like right now. He hurriedly closed the door and walked back, thoughts swirling around as he strolled under the setting sun.